Yeah, and you bring up a great point. We could just kind of get right into what Bitcoin and Ethereum are doing. I mean, these are the kind of dips that you love to see in a bull market. I mean, people got, for some reason, worried, I guess. And I think it's the narrative stuff. It's not just what the price is doing.
Sure.
But some of the stuff that came out, with the absolutely horrible jobs report that came out last week, which we're going to get to that more in detail and talk about the Trump and Powell and Fed and all that stuff here. But that came out, so I think that was a catalyst for a lot of people freaking out, shook some people out, whether it is, stock investing or Bitcoin or whatever. But I mean, this kind of a dip in a bull market is exactly what you want. I mean, we saw this mini shakeout. I think Bitcoin, the lowest I really saw, maybe got down to 111K, maybe 112. ETH maybe 3,400. As far, I'm sure there was a wick lower than that, but yeah, I mean, those are the kind of pullbacks that you love in a bull market. It's very shallow, doesn't really hurt you. We'll get to this, but even Pulse Chain, when it pulled back, we have a lot higher volatility and a lot lower liquidity. So that one was a little bit more roller coaster looking, but same thing. I mean, more the timing of how quickly the bounce back of that was. So I mean, yeah, I was actually watching. If you guys are familiar with that trader, Big Cheds on Twitter, I don't really follow him too much. He's an intraday day trader, but he had a stream today, and he was talking about that too, like the strength of these dips in the bull market. Bitcoin, an ever appreciating asset, so the dips are just going to get less and less over time. But forget that. I mean, just the fact that we're in the bull market. I mean, this is what you like to see. So a lot of strength. Ewok, we're going to get into Ethereum even more specifically, but just as far as the timing of this cycle, we've same story every week. It's been the all Bitcoin cycle so far. Funnily enough, that means a whole bunch of people are Bitcoin maxis now. A whole bunch of new, Bitcoin maxis are being born. What do you make of Bitcoin's time frame? Maybe what high you are thinking still for this cycle, and then we can get into the Ethereum part of it as well.
Well, the cycle high is going to be a little tough, but the one thing I did notice is when you look at the 50, the simple moving average on the 50 day average, what you said right here about 111 came down and just touched it. And it continued to go right back up. So, you're going to see that a lot with these, especially like the 50-day. Now, the longer time frames, the 150, the 200, we're still pretty far off of that, obviously, but it crossed way back here in May of this year, and it's kind of continued to just pull away from the 200. So, it's bullish now. As far as the top goes, I mean, you could see some candles. It's really going to depend on the OTC markets, I think. How much Bitcoin is available on there? How much Bitcoin are they selling as derivatives and paper? We don't know that, and that's one of those things where that's how they manipulate the price so heavily, is because you never know if these bigger institutions are buying it on IOU or paper, or if they're buying it OTC and then coming in and selling the market down. They do that quite often, a lot. So, it's just one of those things that we'll really not know. But I really think that's the big thing that's going on with Ethereum right now, is the price is definitely being held down. You've got the Genius Act that just passed, right? Which means all of these stable coins that are approved or whatever are going to be on Ethereum. The thing that I mentioned earlier, I think I posted, somebody made a comment on it, and I said, yeah, until the fees get to be like 50 or 75 bucks. I said 300 because I do remember at one point it was 300 bucks to just send something to somebody. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So what's Ethereum going to be like whenever everybody is using a USDC stable coin or whatever to transact with? It could get pretty crazy. So yeah, all in all, though, this is, Bitcoin chart, like I said, it's looking quite healthy. When you look at even the monthly trend line, I like to really zoom out on it. We are still pretty far away from this upward trend. So yeah, it wouldn't hurt to even come back just a little bit. I think closer to it, maybe down the road a little bit. But when you go into, let's see here, we go November, December, and even if we keep running at about this rate, let's see, come on, here, December-ish, we're in here. This is right along the lines of this trend. It could be anywhere between, this may sound crazy, but it could be anywhere between 215 to 250, which isn't that really that far off. Some people have predicted, so that's kind of where I think that one's going as a target. It just as this gets heated up, it's going to take off, and I think it could go pretty quickly.
Well, yeah, I mean that range has been speculated by a lot of people. I mean, obviously Richard Hart tweeted about 240K BTC, not necessarily as a prediction, I don't think, but whenever that was probably back 2023 at this point. But yeah, that range has been a popular one. Now, you want to keep your head on a swivel too. I mean, not that we're invested in Bitcoin necessarily, but
Right.
When you get to 180K and we start to see like a deeper pullback or something, you can't. And, we'll get into this even with Pulse Chain too. But I mean, if your thesis or whatever is 240, like you better have some other plan if it's not getting to where you think it's going to get to. So
Sure.
but I hear you though. I think that range is likely, and that would put us at what, like a 3.5x of last cycle's all-time high of around 70K. So
Yep. But
Yep.
That's yeah. And speaking of plans, obviously you want to have some different. I mean, obviously it's your money. You want to do what you want to do, but strategically at certain levels, you should have marked for, all right, 10% off the top. Gets to this level, I'm going to take another 10%. Gets to this level, another 10%. Stagger it. That way, you are still able to take some profits if you want. I mean, there are people that are going to round trip it and hold it again because they just have that much belief in, what it will do. But I don't understand why you can't take it off the top and then rebuy back in. To have that capital sitting there, being able to work for you when it does pull back, because this, again, unless this time's different, which we haven't really gotten any confirmation on it being different. Buying the lows again in the cycle would definitely increase your position for the next cycle. So
yeah, for sure. And whoops, got a stupid ad on here. Yeah, so I think that range anyway for BTC is I don't know about likely, but I mean a lot of people have called that. And I tell you what, if we do get some kind of a deep drawdown maybe later in this year when a lot of people abandon the cycle and then maybe it does slightly go into January of 26 or something, that I think is where we could see that like final blow off type of area there towards like 250K or something when people are caught more off guard. So